up for the new matrix yet? Were you guys able to log into the new system yet or no? Anyone? Log in. Okay. So we're going to go through that. If you haven't logged in yet, you need to look for an email that was sent out between November 18th or November 19th with a subject saying action required. Set up secure access to your new MLS experience. So the email will look something like this. If you miss that email, you can call MLS and they can send you a new email. But we do not have access to this as a broker. Okay, so you need to contact LIBOR to get this link if you don't have it. But you should have, every one of all the agents should have received this in the email in November 18th. Okay, so once you click on this link, you just simply going to set up a new password. Your username or your login is still going to be the same as what you are using for your Stratus. Okay, and usually just the numbers. Mine is 199413, but whatever your numbers are. Okay, so the names that we need to remember is we have one key as the dashboard, right? It will give you all the links to to get your job done. You have your matrix. That is the main component. This is where I'm doing my research for new properties. This is where I'm setting up alerts for my clients. I'm adding all clients information in there. So that's what I'm going to be using majority of the time, matrix. And then we have one home. One home has two parts. Okay, one home has two different parts. One for the agent to view your client's activity, which I'm going to show you guys, and your client has a separate login so they can do their own research as well. So you're setting up alerts for them. Maybe they're setting up another alert for themselves. They can experience all that from the new app. Okay. So we're going to show you guys. I'm going to get rid of this app here. Okay. So first, all these links are available on ljagent.com. Okay, we have modified your LJ Realtor tool section. So the first link shows you one key dashboard. Then you have your MLS Stratus, sorry, MLS Matrix. I'm telling you, it's going to take some time to get used to this. And then we have your transaction desk. And then we have one home agent and one home client. Okay, so my first step is that I want to click on MLS dashboard. And once I log in, it's going to take me to this page here. So first it's telling you that welcome to parallel access to Stratus and Matrix. This is there until the 2nd. So December 3rd, this message should go away. You can exit out like this and you will see all the links. Not all the links are working right now. They will be working or functional after December 3rd. But you still see all the links that you see on top here, right? These are your association benefits. So if you want to review your profile, update any information, you can do so. When your time comes to pay your bill, your MLS or one key bills, you can pay that from there. You have documents on demand in this section as well. So all the documents that LIBOR has created or one key has created will be in there as well. Some legal tips and so on and so forth. The most important feature that we want to look in today is called Matrix. So I click on this link here and it will take me to this page here. This is what Matrix look like. Okay. So first under your name here, you can use classic mode or you can leave it the new mode that we see here. I highly recommend that you get used to the new one because the old one, I'm pretty sure they will get rid of it later on. So why not stick with the new one? So once I'm in my dashboard here, I can see my client's activity on the left panel. So I added a client named Mona Lisa, and if she was visiting the client portal, I'll be notified there as well. Okay. If your news and alerts, what we were getting used to in our Stratus, we see that up top. That's still the same here. You have your favorite searches, right? You can save. I highly recommend that every one of us have at least 5 different searches for ourselves. not for our clients, but for ourselves. So this way, I'm in the know of every area that I'm covering. So if it's South Ocean Park or just in Queens, I want to know, I want to set up an alert and have a saved favorite search that so I can easily check if there's any new properties or not. I love this feature. I come in the morning, I click on update all, and it will tell me for this alert, you have one new property. So, for example, for flipping a property, right? I have one alert, so let's click on it, and it will take me to that property here. So, what view are we in right now? This is your list view as your hot sheet. You can change this into a single line, you can change this to a single photo, you can change this to agent full, right? You can change all of this. 360 so far what I have seen that I like 360 property view, but this is your personal preference. You can see any view that you prefer. So once I'm in here, first I see the property address on top, I see the listing information, I see the status that it's active. What happened with this property? This is the most recent thing that happened with this property, that the price was decreased from 529 to 499. Okay, is giving me all the property details, including the lot size and all that good stuff to the right. It shows me the pictures. I can click on it and view rest of the pictures there. Okay. Then it gives me the public remarks, interior features. It gives you your agent's information as well. So remember we were looking when we were about to go in, under contract, or we're always looking for their license number. You can even click on their name. This one is Joseph, and I can see his license number there as well. Okay, so really neat and clean app for you guys. You guys can zoom in, zoom out of this as well. If I want to see the tax information, I click on tax, and I can see what were the taxes compared to this year, last year, and the year before. So in this case here, it was $8,500, but it dropped in 2022. So you guys can question that as well. Was this buyer or this homeowner, was they getting any type of discounts or not? Star program or any of the discounts. Okay, so that's your taxes. If I want to see all the photos, I click on photos and I can see that there. I also love this feature is your history. It will tell you about the property, what happened with this house, when was it last sold. Remember, we were going on geodata, we are going on other apps. You can see everything that's happening starting even in 2021. The property was new, it was put back on the market, it was temporary off market. You can see all the details for this. Okay, you have parcel map. You want to see where your lot or your boundary lines are, you can see that. You can see your flood map, right? If it's in flood zone or not. So if you're not able to click on it, that means this property is not for foreclosure and there's no open houses hosted right now. Okay, scheduled right now. So from this is what I'm looking at 360 property view. I can do a couple of things on the bottom here under actions. I can email it to a client, I can share the link, right? This is just an individual property that we're looking at. So how do I get to this? Because I set up alerts for myself under favorite searches. So you should do this for commercial, you should do this for your residential, you should do it for your typical client. If you're serving, look at your history. If you closed majority of the property in South Ocean Park and majority of them were single families and you want to set up alert for yourself, is there any new properties available? In the morning, I would come into my dashboard, refresh all, right, update all, and see if there's any new properties. If there is, I'm going to click on it. So there were 41 new single family properties just from yesterday and today. So I want to take some action on it and I want to take a look at it, and I can do so here. Okay. So on this sheet here, you can actually add any columns that you want. You can click on it. After December 3rd, it's going to give you full access. to add any columns and everything, more columns, just like you see here. You can move them around. So it's a really neat and clean app, as you can see here. So now I have a brand new client. That was for myself. What we just did, that was just for myself to see as a real estate agent, I should be able to set up alerts for myself called and save them as my favorite searches. You can add up to 10 of them. Okay. Now I have a brand new client. Client wants, I just spoke to them and they said, hey, they're looking for a property in this area and this is their criteria and I want to start sending them properties. So my first step is going to my matrix, my contacts. You can see here I added few of them and I want to add a new one. So I click on add and let's call him Josh Ram Kumar. Okay. We also need his email. So let's call it Josh Ram Kumar, the zip code at gmail.com. Okay. If you have his phone number, you should add it as well so we can send them text messages. So far is asking for other information, but only required information is first name, last name, and his email. So I'm going to just do that and just hit save. Okay. So you guys can see him on number 3 here, Ram Kumar Josh. So I can click on it. This is what we were looking in KV Core. This is what, when we open up the file, this is what we see. Hey, is there any activity going on with Josh, right? Is there any new recent activity with him? If he wants to receive text messages, we need to send him a request. We send him we send him an email request. He opts in, just puts in his cell phone number, and every time a new property comes on the market, not only will it email him, but it can also text him. This is a big deal. In KV Core, we had to manually send them text messages. But now with this, with Matrix, we can set it up where it can auto email and auto text message him any new property that comes in the save searches that you have for them. Okay, this is a big one. So we can click on send request and he will get that. Okay, so next we have under details, right? We want to set up alerts for him, just like how we were doing in KV Core and some of our agents were doing in Collab. Same exact thing. How are we going to set them up in here? Couple of different ways. We can click on auto email. We can click on cards, which we're going to show you, CMA, send email. All these things are for him. Okay. So first, I want to find out the properties for him, right? So I click on search residential. So a couple of things I want to review with the on this page here. Especially even I was confused about the price range, right? I couldn't figure this out because right now, if we leave it blank, there are 5,000 properties. Are we going to send them 5,000 properties? Absolutely not, right? So let's say he's looking in a certain area. We can either put in the county, city, township, right, village, but we always like the map feature in KV Core. So we have the same map feature here as well. We can click on map and we can see the map here. Okay. So when you want to draw on map, you have a couple of options up here. You can either do a radius. If I click on it, I can just say, hey, in Elmont, I do one click and I can expand it out. If I don't like this feature, I can click on the red icon and delete this shape. If I want to draw a rectangle, I click on rectangle and then I can just draw it like that, right? If I don't want that, I can delete it and I can draw a polygon, meaning I can draw it just like how we were doing it in KV Core. Okay. If I don't want that, I can erase that or delete that as well. Okay. If I want to do freehand polygon, That means I can just draw a circle like this with like a pen, same exact thing. Okay, it's your preference. I personally like to draw a polygon one. So let's say I want to include few properties from Queens Village. I want to include some Elmont, some Valley Stream, like this area here, right? So once I drew a map, I can go back to criteria. Before we had 5,000, we have 5,000 properties. Now with that search alert, we have 380. Is 380 too much for them? Absolutely. Who wants to go over 300 properties? Not me. So my price range or your client's price range, he says between 550. He just tells you, hey, I'm looking for a property around 600,000. The rule that we applied in KV Core was let's put $50,000 less and $50,000 more. $50,000 less so you can find them a property that needs some work, but they can modify in their own way. Or they can see a most recently renovated property is going to be a little bit out of their budget, but they don't have to do a thing to that property. I want to show my client both options and see which one he wants to go with. So if they say 600,000, I want to put 550. You want to put a dash or a minus sign and put 650. Okay? I could not figure this piece out. It took me about 10 minutes just to figure this piece out because I was putting just five or just a number. And then let's just say if I put 500,000 or just 600,000, right? We see three properties. We want to send them a range. So just make sure we're not putting 600,000 fully those because there's a checkbox here that's already doing so. So I just want to tell the system, hey, find me all the properties that's above 600,000. Then I can put 600 and put a plus sign. Okay. Then we still have 321 properties. 321 properties. Okay. If I want to put a minus sign, I can do so as well. And I see 62. That means less than $600,000. Every one of us need to know this piece because that's the only way we can send them accurate properties. So if my price range we said was 550, between 550 and 650, I see there's 43 properties. So as a realtor, guys, is 43 properties okay to send to your clients? Anyone? We went from 5,000 to 300 to 43 right now. If you want to narrow, go ahead. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect, perfect. Especially that, right? Then you guys can start modifying it later on if needed. So let's say now they told you, hey, we're looking for three bedrooms or more. So if you put just three, that means it's gonna find all the properties that are just three. But how about if you find everything and the property has four bedrooms? Wouldn't you want that? So you want to hit plus sign next to that. So now there's 36. Okay. Now, if they say no, we Sclerin, we definitely need four bedrooms or more, then we click that, and now we have 13. Okay. When you're narrowing it down, I believe anything between 10 to 20 properties in the beginning should be fine, right? If we give them five, I think that might be definitely on the lower end. If we give them 50, 100, those are way too much. So 13, I feel comfortable that, hey, I drew on the map the area that he wants to be in. I put in the price range between 550 to 650, and I said four plus bedrooms. I don't want to touch anything else. Okay. Now I want to click on results, and I see all this list here. If I want to start looking at it, I can click on the first one and start narrowing, taking a look at the property details. That's perfectly fine. If I want to go back to the list, I can click on my hot list or hot sheet, and you will see that's here. So how are we setting this alerts up for our clients? We can click on where it says actions here. We can click on save, new auto email. Okay, we have to click on save and new auto email. Once we click on this now, the system is asking, who do you want to send this to? I want to send it to Josh because I just set him up, right? You always, if you're a new agent, if you're an old agent, because this is a new system that we're using, I highly recommend that you leave this section checked where it says BCC, so you get a carbon copy of every email that the system is emailing your client. It says also send link via SMS text message. Highly recommend that you do a checkbox to that as well. As soon as I clicked on this, I saw a message on top here. It says you cannot send text message. You cannot send this text message until Josh opts in. So I'm going to send him a opt-in option as well. Okay. Then we have a subject line. So every time your client is getting this email, he should be, knowing which property that he's actually seeing. So we put in, Nassau and Queens single home, single 4 plus. You could put more information, you could put less information, just make it enough so this way your client knows that, hey, Sclaren set up alerts for me and he's sending me properties with those criteria in it. Okay. Then you have some options to modify the email, the welcome email that Josh is going to get. Okay. You can add your name or anything like that. You're going to see them under signature, but if you want to add any information, you can do so. If you're just starting out, I will leave it. It looks very professional so far, so I will leave it the way it is. Any future emails, any recurring emails that he gets will look something like this. Okay. Then on the bottom here, if you want to approve all the properties before the system emails them, you can check where it says enable concierge mode. That means you will be alerted. You have to approve them. I do not recommend this feature as of right now because anything, if you set it up correctly and you want to send it to your clients, you're just, it's a new lead, you really don't know them. You go ahead and send them everything that you see in that price range with those, criteria that we set up. But if there's a special client and you feel like he or she is too picky and they might be discouraged every time the system is emailing them, I want to approve or reject any properties, then you can do so. But if I uncheck that box, then I get a schedule option. When do you want to send them? As soon as possible, daily, monthly. Again, I will do it as soon as possible because we are competing with Zillow, we're competing with other apps out there. So if a new property comes on the market, 9 a.m., I want my client to get that email right away. Okay. So what do we do so far, guys? Once we did a search, we click on save, and we did it, set up auto email. Once we clicked on it, it asks for which client do you want to set this up for. I click Josh. I BCC myself. I put in a subject line. Okay. After that, I hit as soon as possible, and I'm gonna hit save. Okay. So where did I go? Let's look at Josh's profile. So I'm going under my matrix, my contacts, and I can see under Josh's name, it says auto email. I see one alert is set up there. So let's click on his profile. And now under auto email, I see that Nassau, Queens, single, 4 plus beds. I see that alert here. Okay. If I want to make some changes, he says, no, man, my price range changed, my area changed. Perfectly fine. I come back here and click on criteria and make any changes that are necessary. Okay. All right. So let's see what Josh received in his email. Okay. So this is what he received, or whenever you're setting up a client, this is what your client is going to see. It's going to say from instead of my name, it's going to be your name there. You're going to see your photo there. and he's asking them, hey, sign up for property notification by text messages. They click on sign up now, and they put their phone number in. They agree to this and activate. That's it. Now your job is getting really, you're going to be saving so much time following up with your clients because you're going to be, the system is going to be sending them an email, the system is going to be sending them text messages, and they go ahead and click on it and view the property online. Okay. So let's go back to the client. Let's go to Josh again and email. And if you want to send them an individual email, I can click on results. And for some reason, you want to emphasize on this property here, you can email them on the bottom as well. Who do you want to email it to? You have Josh already selected. You can put anything in the body, in the subject line, body, and hit send. Okay, let's see if Josh received an email. He sure did, and it looks something like this. It shows them the property, shows them everything that is a new listing. Why wouldn't they want to click on view property and take a look at it? Okay, this is what their portal looks like. So instead of going to your website or anything, they're on one home website. It's a browser based. It's a browser based. They can, they get a welcome message there. They get to know what one home is. They can even actually plan out, hey, what step of the journey are they on, especially if they're buying or selling. Okay, there's a planner, and they can any property that you send them. I love this feature as well that they can actually favorite or dislike it. If it's dislike, this way you know that hey, this client does not like this type of property. And then if they do like it, you want to take some action on it. Hey, let me show you this property. Let me schedule a showing, right? If the showing goes well, then we move on. Otherwise, we're back to square one. And this feature here is called property fit. If they set up an account, right, they activated their account, they can go ahead and tell the system, hey, these are the features I want to see in my property. So anytime Damian or Carvin is sending them properties, the system is going to say, hey, this fits, this has a high score, like this one here, 80%. That means most of the features that you're looking for in a property, this property has it. Or if it's a lower credit, if it has a lower percentage, let's say 20%, 30%, that means it does not have all those features that your client was looking at. Okay, and you want to always have them activate their account. They can still see the properties without the activation. It says you can still browse property listings without activating it, but what does it cost them? Absolutely nothing. All they got to do is just set up a password. They already gave you the email. Tell them set up a password. This way you can do your own searches, and it's going to give you a lot more benefits just by activating it. So I click on, or I have them click on activate account. Again, it tells them the bullet points, and if they're asking for feedback, we don't want to give them any feedback. So let's say it was Josh, Ram Kumar, and they're setting up a password. It's asking for a special character as well. Okay, and they agree to this. I click on activate account, and now it says welcome aboard. Okay, now they have to sign in. They just with the same password that they just created, and let's see what does it look like. Okay, so first they can even compare three properties at a time. So let's say, Mr. Ali, you send them three different properties, five different properties. They can literally compare with one another in just a snapshot there. You can see that introducing compare. Now with that property we just send them, this is the property that we send them. This is the alert that we set up for them. So if any time they want to come back, they're logged in, and if there's any new properties in Nassau or Queens County that we set those alerts up for them, they can see all the details here. This property is listed in Elmont. They wanted to be as close as possible to Queens. And I see that the latest property that we're sending them is in Elmont. Why wouldn't they want to click on it? They were looking for 3 bedrooms, and this property has 4 bedrooms. So they click on it. Look what they see. First, they see all the photos. On the right, they see the price, and they also see a cost breakdown. They can see their mortgage principal and interest. All these numbers will change depending on the property. Okay, this is more of your mortgage calculator built in. They can click on request a tour, and this does not go anywhere else besides your profile because this is your client, they're in your profile, so you going to get this notification. So they can select a date and time and request a tour. They can start comparing different properties. They can have neighborhood insights. If I click on it, it tells you, hey, on average, homes in this area sell above for 98% of the asking price. So what it tells you is either it's a buyer's market or seller's market. Okay, it gives them a lot of data for that neighborhood just by clicking on one link. Then it will give you the property's address again, the MLS number. It will give you the remarks that the listing agent had created. It gives you more features for the property. It will give you your property details, right? It's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. It has 2 levels. It has a eat-in kitchen. It tells you the style for the property. It gives you the lot size in a very neat and clean interface. So this way your client can stick on this website and knows the fact that, hey, I'm not on Zillow. I'm not getting, different agents' information. They're in your portal. Okay. They have the building details, the heating, the cooling, right? What type of construction is this? They can see other features. Okay, they can see the schoolings. I love this one here too. Schooling rating. How many times we were doing the research elsewhere? Hey, how's the school? Let me go check RPR. We don't have to do that. It's built in now. So you can see elementary schools, you can see middle schools, you can see high schools, and even private schools. Okay, if there's any upcoming open houses. So you want to have this experience with your client in person, right? I'm going through my buyer's presentation. I'm asking them the right questions. Hey, which area that you're looking in? And let me know your criteria. Hey, while you're here, I'm gonna set this up. It's gonna take me 5 minutes. I'm gonna set up you in my matrix, and I'm gonna start sending you properties right now. What I want your feedback to be, Mr. Buyer, is that tell me how you feel about this listing. Either you favor it or you dislike it. And tell them there's no hard feeling. Just tell me if you don't like this property. This way the system will learn from it and I will send you less of that and more of the property that you actually like. Right? Then it says talk to your agent. Again, it will only have your information. It will not have any other information, not even listing agent's information. Then getting around the neighborhood, it will tell you, score less than 50, you're gonna know it's on the negative side. On transit side, it has 95. That means transit is not a problem, and other properties as well. Okay, so if the client actually clicks on like, that's a positive sign. You'll be notified in your portal. Let's see what that will look like. So if I'm in Matrix now, in my dashboard, refresh, and look, it says Josh added a property, a favorite property, and they'll give you that address. So what could you take away from that is like, hey, let me go ahead and see if the property is available and start showing them this property. Okay. So this is what your client's portal look like. How do you have access to this? You can send them a link right from here, or when you're setting up alerts, they already received an email that looks something like this. Okay, you want to encourage all your clients to go ahead and set up a password for one home. Okay, all right, guys, let's go back to this piece here now. My saved searches. So again, this is not just for your clients. This one, when we see save searches, this is not an automatic emails. Automatic emails are under my auto emails. Okay. And auto emails, you can see that all of them are in green. That means they are active and they're ready to go. If your clients unsubscribes to any of the listings, then you will not be able to send them any properties. Okay. So for next, maybe maybe tomorrow is a day off for everyone. Every one of us should be logging in, setting up at least 2 or 3 different clients. Maybe one could be a person who's looking for a single family, another one could be looking for 2 family, maybe another one looking for a renter, right, renting a property, or in addition, if you want, maybe another one for commercial, right? We have access to all the listing that's available in New York, not just LIBOR. We're gonna see from Brooklyn, we're gonna see from Bronx, from Westchester. We're gonna see all of them built in into this matrix program. Okay? The only way to learn this, get comfortable with this, is by using it. Okay? You have to spend the time to actually get used to this. When I was reviewing it, like I said, it took me a while just to understand this page because I did not know that you could put price ranges with, a dash. Simply put, you know, that's how crazy it is. Even putting a plus sign or a minus sign for bedrooms and bathrooms, right? So you gotta get used to this by actually using this platform. So everything is gonna be under my dashboard. When I come in the morning, I want to see if there's any new searches for me. I want to update all. I want to review that. I want to see my client's activity. Can review that, right? You always want to hit refresh. There's a lot more features, a lot more things that we're going to be going over in next coming meetings. But the most important is how do I add a client and how do I start sending them links, right? That's the most important part for being a real estate agent. If you go back to this portal here, and you want to see what your client, because you're not going to have the login or the password for your client, right? You just see the recent activity in your dashboard. But if you want to experience what your client is experiencing on one home, you can do so by clicking on your agent portal. So agent login, first you have to look for your MLS. I was looking for LIBOR and nothing comes up. So you have to click on one key MLS. It will ask you for your same logins that you created for your one key dashboard. And you can see all my clients that we have in our matrix, my contacts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see all of them in here as well. But the good thing about this is that I can go ahead and preview the account. I can see the alerts that the client is setting up for themselves, not just what I'm setting up for them. Okay? So we were reviewing Josh. I can click on review account. Now it says on top that agent preview mode for Josh, right? You can see this is the alert that you set up for them. If there was any alerts that he set up for himself, you can see them in here as well. Okay, so I think the journey is going to be a lot better between a real estate agent and a buyer, but we have to teach them the right thing. The only way we can teach them is to know how we actually use them, right? So we have less than 5 minutes left, guys. Did anybody get to this step yet, where they have logged in, they set up at least one alert, or tested anything for themselves yet? Anyone? Okay. So you added under matrix, okay. But did you click on that? Alerts. Good. That's fine. We're gonna go through them a million times. I just want to make sure everybody understand that because we need to just get it right one time and then we can repeat it a million times, right? So you had no problem adding it under my contacts. You added them, right? After that, yeah, after that, you need to click on search and start doing a search for them. This is just a one-time thing. We're setting up alerts. So we click on search and then you put in the county, you put in how many bedrooms, and we put in the price range. Okay? Did you miss? So let's talk about it, right? So residential, we're looking at it just for single family properties, condos or co-ops. Rentals, we're looking for anything that has to do with renting itself. Rental income, this is for investment property for two family, three family, four family. If you are not sure, I highly recommend you click on cross property. That means it's cross everything. So it doesn't matter what they're looking at, then you have to decide is it residential or not. So that's a good question. Instead of clicking any of this, click on cross property and this way you can select it yourself. Right? Yeah, so I'm gonna go through this right now, right? So we have residential, he's looking for residential. He has a price range of 500,000. So I'm gonna put 450 minus 550. This is the part that, yeah, yeah, yeah. The first one. Yes, first one. Okay. And the price range, the bedrooms, and the area. You can click on map, what I'm doing up here too. There's criteria, there's map, and there's results. All three of the tabs we need to get comfortable with because we can go back and forth with that. Hey, map, I can either draw on map or I can just put in criteria. We're looking Nassau County, but the most important is which price range and how many bedrooms. I think three things should be definitely there for every client on the map. Hey, which area, what's the price range, and how many bedrooms, right? So once we let, I'm going to give you a quick example how you add it for that client, right? So we have residential. He's looking for, um, I want to say on the map here, he says, I just want to be in Queens Village, nowhere else. So I can do Queens Village here. I see plenty of properties. Even though I clicked on map, I can go back to criteria. It's still going to be saved on map. Okay. So we got the area. Now we say, hey, anything between 600 to 700,000. So I put 600 minus 700 to show as a range. 600 dash 700. No spaces. Then bedrooms, he says 3 plus. So I put 3 and then the plus sign. Okay, I got 22 properties here. I click on results, right? Mr. Hassan, this is the most important part here. I'm going to click on save on the bottom. It says save and then save new auto email. Who do you want to assign this to? You're going to pick your client. You're going to put a subject line. The subject line should be whatever area that he wants to be in. Queens Village, 500, 600,000 price range, whatever you want in the subject line. And you're going to go ahead and click on send as soon as possible and save. So on this page, you're doing three things: selecting your client, putting in a subject line, and selecting as soon as possible. And you're hitting save. Okay. Once you have done that and you go back to your client under my matrix and my contacts, you're going to see where it says auto email. This is where we say, did you set up alerts in KV Core? Exactly the same. Yes, I have set up alerts. There's one alert set up for Josh. Okay. We do have to get going, guys. We have another meeting for the mortgage side. I do apologize, but feel free to come to the office. We can review this on one-on-one. I want every one of us to understand this. Every one of us needs to understand it. Play around with it. Set up a personal email as your client for your spouse or your family friend and actually use the system But we have until December 3rd. After December 3rd, everything that we were using is going to be gone. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.